Welcome back to Romberg and the Money, your weekly rambling stock market rundown where we, your hapless hosts, discuss current events and spread wild conjecture in an ever-shifting market. We are rank amateurs. Every word we say is the opposite of financial advice and should be completely disregarded. Romberg is not for everyone. Please consult with your financial advisor to see if you are healthy enough for Romberg. Take us away.
Who, me?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Hello, we're back.
And we're back.
Yeah.
It is June 4th, another Friday, and you're listening to Romberg and the Money.
Every Friday.
Every Friday.
It seems like they come around every week, at least once.
1 in 7 days are Friday.
And since I'm old, if I miss a Friday, I'll probably be in trouble. I'm just saying, right up front.
We'll try to keep a regular schedule. So, what was your take on this week, just as a broad overall before we dive into a specific market?
Well, I knew this week was going to be kind of in my mind, it was going to be a little bit wacky. I knew there were employment reports coming out, and we don't talk about market sentiment or anything much, but there's this whole thing.
Today is a great day to start.
Yeah, well, market sentiment. It's one of those strange things because I think it's really important because the markets oftentimes just react to a lot of emotion and not always in ways that you think might be a logical way. So this week, there was volatility, and
yes, there was.
Coming. Yeah, and the problem was, I think the issue was that so we have inflation hovering, right?
Yeah.
And then we have employment.
It's on everyone's mind.
Right. So employment comes along, and this is one of those cases of the good news, bad news thing. So the market's like looking at the week and going, okay, we got this employment thing coming. So you would think that a good employment number would make the market happy, but not probably likely. It's more likely that really super strong employment numbers are going to make the market unhappy, because that would mean that inflation is a thing that we have to worry about more than if we have less than stellar employment numbers, because that means less people are out there buying things, and maybe the Fed isn't going to raise rates after all, or maybe they're not going to do anything. So this is a case of good news probably would have been bad for the market, and mediocre news was actually pretty good for the market because
slightly better than expected meant okay.
Yes, exactly. And okay means, well, maybe inflation can be controlled from here, so let's not worry too much about that, and let's jump back in and buy a bunch of stuff.
Well, yeah, what was funny was it was Thursday morning, I think, where the reason I knew something had happened was because I had seen all the numbers had dropped. I'm like, oh, I need to check the news. And so much of it was just like, there's concerns like Russia's dropping the dollar and, increased tensions with China. And that's why the whole market decided, big sad today. And then today it bounced right back. So, it's on a day-to-day basis, apparently.
I don't know. I mean, my opinion on the whole thing, the Russia thing, I read quite a few articles about it. My kind of take, I kind of fall into the political movement take because, that particular fund that they're taking the dollar-denominated investments out of, it's not that big. It's $600 billion of fund, right? They don't have like $1 trillion of U.S. stuff in there. So it's not like
I would happily take any spare $600 billion you have lying around.
Yeah, well, it's just that it's not going to really move the market. I read that and I whatever. I mean, that's just kind of like posturing. And is it really going to move the market? Probably not. I mean, the market is trading in trillions, not, $100 billion of denominated investment. I don't know. So I didn't really pay a lot of it. The one thing that there was one thing that did bother me though.
Okay.
And that's that. Though I'm me, I'm not a fan of crypto. So, but there is the digitization of money, which one might make the case is slightly different than crypto. Crypto, if I just make the analogy, let's say crypto is let's say,
Are you talking about like state-run
yeah,
digital currency?
yes, state-run digital currencies.
Yep.
So China's been heading that way for a while,
Yeah, they've got the yuan.
and Russia's been heading that way for a while.
I'm not as familiar with theirs, but I believe you.
And the U.S. government is toying with it. So what worries me, really, and not today or tomorrow or next year, is that we're not the leader, right? We're not leading in that area. And
Right.
when worldwide economics when it functions better with digital money, um, and we're still stuck, I guess we're out there with our wagon and we're trying to get that wagon wheel off and get a new one on, maybe with rubber tires on it or something, because we're going to be so far behind. We're not keeping up. And the United States
Right.
needs to step it up or worry about losing leadership. Well, you lose leadership by not being proactive.
We're going to need a whole episode for this, Jim.
I know it. I'm sorry. I just have to throw that out there.
All right, so let's for now we'll kind of table that for future discussion. We'll move into tech stocks for today. So our shot call, yours was between 90 and 117 on TQQQ, which has definitely panned out. Mine was 90 to 110. I will point out my range was narrower, so I think that gives me the win on this one.
What? That's because you cheated and you went after me and you took the prices right.
Well, maybe next time you should let me guess first.
Well, guess what? I'm going to. I am totally going to make you guess first.
All right.
So this is the TQQs, right? And we're zooming in there. And this box that I have here kind of represented the whole, what's the high end, what's the low end. And you
can't quite see your date range here. Is this just the last 5 days?
Pardon me. The box is covering. Can you see the box okay?
Yeah, I can see the box. I can't read the date range.
Oh, this covers all the way back to like so this box.
Okay, this is a 1 month box.
Yeah, this box is kind of representing the resistance that we're facing here at this value.
Yep.
And then kind of the lower end of the market. This is probably off just a smidge, but I mean the lower end right here, which is kind of like the low part of the most recent trading. And then and this is the guidance from looking a little further out than looking down the trend line of the lows. This is kind of like the low trend line right here.
Right.
So right there. I mean, I guess I'm giving you the win, dude. You're getting the win.
I mean, it was in both our ranges pretty much dead center. Yours was just a wider window.
Yeah. Well, you know me. The windows sometimes can be a little wide depending on how I'm looking at the long-term channel charts, the wave of action on the moving averages, and then the threshold of the higher lows moving up a line to try to.
So just the last 5 days, we're looking at kind of like a reversal where there was that dive on Thursday and then a pretty decent rally today. It was like 5% or so.
Yeah, and I think that's just I mean, if you really look at it, it's probably still oversold. And you know what? I had my stop set because I was worried about it heading south. And
I think you were talking about that was in
$98, right?
Yeah.
Right. So right there, 97.47. I was gone. I'm gone.
Oh.
No, it's fine. It's fine because I have a tremendous number of puts out there at values that I actually sold 1,000 shares on the stop out. But I ended up with a higher. I still ended up with more money than I did when I had the shares. How about that?
The official guidance is sell low, buy high, but sell puts on the way down.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
That's me. That's how I catch the wave, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The waves are always lagging. So anyway, so that's the deal.
Let's move on to FAST then.
The FAST
we're talking.
What'd you have on the FAST?
Your shot call last week was 115 to 125. Mine was mine was just larger than yours. So if it's in between 115 and 125, it's definitely yours this week.
Well, it closed at 126.65. How about that?
Oh, dang! Okay, that's in my window because you ended at 125, mine ended at 129.
Yeah, I said I'd revisit the high. I didn't know if I would, where I
It
was going to
revisited the high
go.
Monday morning. I remember I texted you. I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
Jim,
right.
your shot call's already out of the water.
Yeah, I know, right? But I don't care because it went up.
Well, no, exactly. I'm never complaining about it, a good week.
The more interesting part, now today you would have thought because of the numbers on the employment and the financials were they were softer this morning when they started out.
Right. You
And
can see that doji today. It really didn't go much of anywhere.
but here's the big thing right there. You can see that's a tail with
A long tail, though.
close
Yeah.
way at the top. This kind of tells me there are buyers in the wings looking to continue buying. I wouldn't
Okay.
be surprised. So this is my new shot window for next week. And
Well, we're gonna get to that.
I know, I'm just saying, this is kind of the window range I think we're going to roll into next week,
Yeah.
which is good because it's a step up from where we were.
Yeah. No, we went lateral for a while there, and it looks like we're kind of moving back into a raising channel again.
And we broke out of that resistance line that is right about here.
What was that, like
So
123-ish?
120, about 122, 50,
122?
something like that.
122.50. Perfect.
But that was the resistance. We already broke through it, right?
Yeah.
Now we broke through it for 4 days and held it over. So
Well, hopefully that's the new floor.
Well, so that becomes the new support level. That's
Yeah,
correct.
exactly.
We're 4 days in. We should be looking to move higher with no upward resistance.
Sure.
There you go.
Awesome. All right, and then UDAO was our third shot call from the end of last week.
Yes, you
We basically had the exact same window on this one. Mine was 70 to 76, yours was 71 to 75.
And we closed at 74.95.
Right at the top of yours, that's a solid win for Mr. Jim Howe.
Mr. Jim wins, yay!
That's
But one
super.
of the more interesting things here, again, you can see that we broke out of kind of the resistance up in here along this line. We broke out, and they move in waves. So there's your high wave, right?
Right.
And now we've broken down, then we broke down, and now we're going lateral, and then we broke out of that lateral move again and
We're
started
kind of back
moving
towards
up.
the middle of that channel.
Yeah.
What's the timeline
Yeah.
on that channel you're looking at?
Well, this covers quite a bit of time. This goes back to April 15th.
Okay, so this is like a 2 month.
I like, yeah. These boxes, I try to find the core
Oh, no,
trade
not
support.
the box, the channel lines you've got there.
Oh, these channel lines?
Yeah.
Where do they go to?
Yeah, what's the range on that?
1,200 days.
Okay.
So we're going back like 5 years
Yeah.
on these channels. So that's our rule, man. That's the Jim Howe rule, right?
No,
So-
I know, and that's what I was saying. Is like you can see it's actually holding pretty closely to that channel.
3 rules. 5-year trend. Is it in my favor? Yes, it is. It's inclined. Step 1. I might invest. 2-year trend line. Still slightly inclined. Might invest. Looks like it's oversold or overbought up here. Okay,
Yeah.
We'll wait out that. 2-year trend line. Already there. 1-year trend line. Where am I going? Oh, I'm back in the going up again. So,
Yeah.
This tells me, my little feeble mind is like, all right, so I passed all of my trend tests. I'm basically heading up. Now, am I going to buy at the high or the low? I don't know. But I do know that the trend is favoring me. So
Mhm.
it's somewhere, even if I buy too high, at some point, I'll catch up to myself. As
You'll
long as
make money on it eventually.
Exactly, as long as all the trends stay in place.
Yeah.
6-month run, still a good trend. So,
Yeah.
and I go all the way down to 3. I like all of these trends to validate that nothing is changing for me to worry about.
Yeah.
So once I get to that point, then it becomes academic. How and where am I buying in? What is
Right.
the number? Yeah.
So yeah, what's our outlook for QQQ next week? What are you thinking?
Well, so TQQs are my triple leverage, right? I'm
Yes.
not
Sorry.
tracking
Yes.
those. They're gonna track the same as the Nasdaq 100 as the QQQs. So
Right.
what am I thinking next week? So here's your box. I'll leave the box on here. We can look at it again next week. But again, I always follow my probability analysis.
Yep.
This probability
Oh, you said you
analysis.
wanted me to go first. I'm sorry. Here.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, that sucks.
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. My bad.
What's your number, man?
What's my
And I don't
number?
know.
What's my number?
Yeah.
What's my number? Okay, I'm gonna give it a read all. I'm going for specificity this week. We're gonna give it a $3 window centered on 105.50.
Oh my God, you're killing me. Really? 105. So so the 14th. This is the 4th. 7 days the 11th, and so I'm looking at my new box looking like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually don't like to be that specific. That's my box.
No,
That's what I.
it is an unnecessarily specific call, but I'm trying it out.
I can. So all of the things are still aligned, right? I've got my trailing stop ATR information. We've stepped up a little bit. We all the news that we're going to enjoy is pretty much out there right currently.
Yeah.
So I think that there could be some traction from here. We know that we have a high up here at 112. We could come back and visit it, although I don't think we're going to see that next week. Maybe the week after. Honestly, I'm thinking if I'm going to draw a place to be in,
Uh,
I'm going to probably guess if you want me to be like you, it's
no,
going to be
you can do whatever you want. Just be aware if I'm in my window, I'm winning.
oh, sure, I see. I'm thinking 102 to 107.
Okay, so we have the same window described different ways. Got it.
Yeah, I would rather go with my window and then I'll win.
Okay, perfect. All right. What about financials for next week? What's your fast outlook?
Yes. I hope our people watching this care about these two leveraged funds.
Well, three now. All three of the ones we talked about
All
are
three
full
people who
leverage.
looked.
Can you tell what we're interested in?
All right. So basically, I don't know, 115. Well, let's call it 116. I can't go to 132, even though the probability or cone's
Yeah,
telling me it might. But I'm
I
thinking
mean that
maybe,
would be above all-time high.
yeah, I'd be looking at maybe 130 if all of the metrics stay in play.
Here's my concern. So I'm looking at like the 1 month here, and I'm seeing kind of like a wave timing pattern almost, where we're lasting for a week, 2 weeks, and then there's a drop. A week or 2 weeks, and then a drop. And we're kind of getting near the end of that window. So I don't know. My shot call is going to be 122 to 127.
Oh, that's pretty big.
That's $5, Jim.
I want you to get down to like $1 so that I beat you.
We had a $20 window last week.
Well, there's a reason because they're triple leveraged and they can move $5 or $10. They can move
Exactly.
$5
So
in a
don't give me
day.
shit about my $5 window.
All right,
Sorry. What
fine.
was your final number? I actually didn't write it down.
All right, I'm gonna roll with somewhere between support of 122 and
122.
130. 122 to 130.
Okay, cool. So you win if it's over 127 then. All
Yes.
right. And that brings us to you, Dow.
Or just in general, I win. That's
Yeah, well, we'll see.
if we're if we're a betting operation here, anybody that wants to place a bet, I have another website. Let's see.
Okay. Link in the comments.
UDAO.
UDAO.
Uh,
some reason chart looks different than usual.
No, my gambling bandit is my crypto account. So there you go.
Okay.
UDAO.
Okay. Once again, give me a second. I gotta get in here first because I know you're gonna call foul if I just slide you out by $1 again.
I'm gonna be really narrow on this for you.
Well, I mean, yeah, it doesn't move as much.
Well, right. Oh, call me out on that. Well, I see how you are.
75 to 70. Oh wait, no. Yeah, actually, 75, 77. That's
75. That's your number.
75 to 77.
All right. Well,
that's my outlook for the week ahead.
Because I just can't help but be, all analytical about the way I do everything. I'm gonna really pin it somewhere in.
All analytical he says as he slides his mouse around until he feels good about the number.
Yeah, there we go. I'm going to say that's the number between 73 and 77.
73 and 77, so slightly more bearish outlook, but basically describing the same window there. Cool.
Yeah, well, 73 to 77 is, $4. The stock trades $2 a day in a window. I got 5 days, or it has its ATR's $2, and I got 5 days for it to go up and down, and maybe gain $1, in the end. I don't know. That's just
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's all marked here. I should just put your name right on the chart, but that's okay. Maybe later.
No, I've got them written down. We're good.
Okay.
I definitely don't edit them over the course of the week. That would be
Would it? Would it really? I don't remember anything, so.
See, that makes it so much easier.
All right, my man. What else is happening?
I don't know. I don't know if I have too much else to say about the market this week. Like you said, the jobs report came out. A little bit of international drama. Storm season starting to come in the south.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I hope you don't need PVC pipe ordered anytime soon.
Well, I live in Hawaii, as you all remember, and we're
you just
starting
have
to move.
To remind us every week.
We're going to start moving into hurricane season. We don't get them really, but
excuse me, sir. Correction, you're entering typhoon season in the Pacific Ocean.
No, we get hurricanes. Hurricanes, man. Yeah.
They're not called hurricanes. They're typhoons if they're in the Pacific.
So I got one more thing for you, though.
You got one more thing for me. I'm excited. What is it?
So, let's see here. Where is that at?
Are we opening a new show segment? Oh, wait. You wanted to talk about, well, I guess we kind of did at the beginning, market sentiment this week.
Well, we kind of covered it, this, but let me point this out first. Last week you mentioned gold. Well,
that's a running gag, yes.
Yeah, so here's your 5-year gold. So on 5 years, you would have made 56%, 10% a year, which isn't,
it's respectable.
Horrible. Yeah. But as
beating the market on average, not the last 5 years, but on average.
Right. So if you want to protect yourself from inflation, I would buy this probably rather than Bitcoin.
Yeah, for sure. And this is literally just gold, like the stock ticker gold. That's what's the name of that company? It's not coming to me.
Well, the upside is if we are in an economic disaster, if you can get them to send it to you, you can at least make yourself some jewelry.
Yes, that's right, Barrick Gold. Yeah, I'll send them a postage note that says, yes, sir, I own X shares of gold. Please send me my gold in the mail. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll get it to me with all due haste.
And even though I pick on those crypto people, I don't mean to. Just FYI, I think our friend was busy again. And
Which one?
Mr. Although I think they've just said, thank you, Mr. Tesla, but we are going to ignore you anyway.
Uh-huh. I see.
So I see the Bitcoin's back up to 37,000 again.
Well, I mean, it was at like 50 before he took a dump on it.
Yeah. Well, I honestly think that when he started taking Bitcoin for his cars, I think he thought, oh, that's a good idea. But wait a minute. What happens if they go way down and my car company loses its ass because I took a currency that has this crazy value?
As long as we're going to be antagonizing Elon Musk, here's my pitch. Batteries for cars. He's big on electric. Everyone knows this. Big on electric. Batteries use rare earth metals.
Yes, they do.
This sucks.
Yeah,
Hydrogen uses water, electrolysis, and a steel can. So I get where the efficiency argument is coming from, but we're working with a much more finite resource for these battery packs that's getting increasingly expensive. And with his recent decision to say, oh, well, Bitcoin is using too much power to mine it, it's like, okay, well, let's talk about, mining lithium. That's my whole thing. At me, Elon Musk.
Yeah, I hear you that's an interesting thing because, that was another, where are we on our time? We have 5 minutes. So
good.
Here's the deal. As Joe Biden likes to say, here's the deal. I mean, hey, man. So the hydrogen theory of future energy has been out there for a very long time, decades.
Fuel cells are not a super new technology.
Decades, and they're not efficient, and electrolysis to convert water to hydrogen, you have to use electricity. So right away you've got an extra step. If you're going to make electricity, you might as well just use it to drive something rather than use it to make something else to drive something. That makes no sense at all. Because you have to either burn oil or coal or have hydrogen or nuclear power to be able to make the hydrogen. Right?
Sure. Yep.
So, and there's nobody on Earth that's willing to put all their wealth behind a method or system to get that done. So Elon has changed
we already have the existing infrastructure for electrical.
Right. So, and the other issue is about this little guy, which we didn't talk about for a reason.
What are we looking at here?
You brought up last week, and I wanted to mention it, oil, or somebody brought it up.
Oh, yeah, no, a bunch of people have been talking about it. I'm not big on oil. Oh, I remember this conversation. Yeah.
So look here.
You've been waiting for this coup de grace all week. I'll let you have it.
So back in 2016, this stock hit 727. So this is a good example of why I don't buy things that are not trending in my direction. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get rich. All these people buy all this money up here. They're like, I'm going to make money on oil. Well, then it went down. And it went down some more. And it went up a little bit, and it went down some more. And it went up a little bit, and it went down some more. And then, we hit low of 66, right?
Right.
And this is back in March.
Does this count as a dead cat bounce if it takes multiple years to do?
So here's the big question, right? So I'm not saying that doing a contra strategy isn't viable, because you could have bought at 66 and you'd be at 244 and you make 200, or 400%.
I was saying nearly 400, yeah. Three and change.
Yeah, so you would have made a lot of money here. The key is you have to ask yourself, what kind of investor am I? Am I a trend investor? Am I going to take short window looks? So what I noted on this chart, because somebody asked me about it, and I told them, I said, well, no. I mean, all the people.
Would you buy oil right now? No.
All those people up there are going, God, I hope it gets back to 727, right?
Only got another 300% rise to go.
And I
Hang
only
in
have
there,
to,
guys.
and I only have to wait, I don't know, another 5 more years, and maybe I'll get back to 700 again. Um, and so I would never say this is not an opportunity, but you have to know who you are and what you want to do. You can trade it, but you always better have an exit. You better have your strategy established about how much you're going to lose if you bought in at the wrong moment, because
Right.
the trend is not your friend. Not 5 year, not 2 year, not 1 year. I mean, one
One
year,
year
I
looks
guess.
okay.
1 year looks okay, but I wouldn't.
I'm
But
going to say, though, that we're in a pretty unique market wherein everything looks great on the 1 year channel.
well, yeah, well, this is still a contra trend. That's why I said it might be worth buying as long as you know where you're exiting,
Yeah.
right?
What's your
So
stop loss?
on this, if
No,
I
I'm
was
not
bought,
asking you. I know you don't own
uh,
it, but like, that's the question you should be asking yourself is at
right.
what point are you like, I need to be out of this?
So 169 is your. I mean, that's what you have to be willing to lose.
Oh, that's the
I mean,
bottom of your channel. Yeah.
yeah, you could end up down there in the next 6 months.
And you can
And
see like every time it's hit this top line of the 1 year channel, it's been pretty quick
it's
to seek out the bottom of it again too.
it's overbought and it wanders back down. So I don't like to say negative things, but my point is just on always to be sure that you understand, what your risk is, and spend more time trying to figure out how to mitigate it than worrying about uh, how you make money up here. If you can protect here, you'll make money up here somewhere.
You know,
It's just easy to do,
I
right?
was we kind of briefly talked about a ETF called X Out, and the basic premise of it was, instead of trying to pick winners, pick losers. You know,
Yeah.
figure out what the S&P, whatever your given index is, and just be like, okay, which companies do I not think are going to perform that well this year? And that can maybe be an easier question to answer. And if you remove those and you have an ETF or your own trading, whatever, however you do it, that's based on the rest of that, you're going to outperform that index. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Outperforming indexes is super, super hard. And
well, exactly. And
because,
that's what I was saying. Was like the core claim was maybe we're thinking about this backwards. Maybe instead of trying to pick the ones that are going to do the best, we just need to get rid of the ones that are going to do the worst.
yeah, um, yeah,
I think that's our timer.
that's me saying time to go. Alexa, stop. How about that? Alexa's telling me to stop talking, people. So I always listen to her because I know better than not to.
Well,
So
I
I'll
mean,
leave
past
it.
tense, you set the timer, so you're partially responsible for your success.
I am partially irresponsible. That's totally true.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jim. It's been a pleasure. And then tune in next week on the 11th, and let's see how badly we did.
Maybe somebody will send us a question.
Hey, that'd be
Or a
cool. Yeah.
thought,
If you have any questions,
right?
comments, concerns, leave them.
Or just tell us that our intro is absolutely correct and that we're just two crazy people that should never be listened to. I'm good with
You
that
should
too.
not be on the internet. Yes, please.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.